Hey everyone, Mia Paulus here. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to talk about the 3 biggest financial mistakes that business owners make in their business. So there are many types of mistakes, but financial ones are one of the most catastrophic and difficult to recover from. So let's take a look at the top 3 financial mistakes that most business owners make and see how to avoid them and, if necessary, overcome them. All right, let's go ahead and get started. So the first biggest financial mistake I see entrepreneurs make is that they spend money too soon. Now, what do I mean by that? So in the first 2 phases of business, phases I call the ideation and the validation phase, which is really part of the foundation startup phase of business that people are in, I see them trying to buy their time too early when they actually need to be boots on the ground, getting them really muddy, going and testing out their vision, going and testing out their product, talking with people, seeing if it's actually a problem that's worth solving. That needs to be you, the visionary. And that might be scary for you, but I'm going to challenge you to really be in business. You got to figure out how to talk to people and to sell. It's just a part of business, and it's something that you just have to get used to. So by you doing it early on, it's going to help you get uncomfortable, get you to learn what it is. And you might say that, I'm just not good at sales, or I'm just not good at that. By doing it, you will become better at it. These videos, if you looked at my earlier ones, are way worse. Every time I do these, I get a little better. Hopefully 10 more from now, I'll be even better. But by me doing them, that was one of the main reasons why I paid for an actual production studio to do these videos for me. It forces me to batch 12 videos a day. It forces me to get uncomfortable. It forces me to get better at public speaking and videos. And so you have to put yourself in those challenging situations to be able to get better. So I've had entrepreneurs that have come and signed on with our program, and they're really, really small, and they're thinking that they can, for $300, get their entire back-end system built and done for them. When you're young and small in business, you don't need a full big operations. You need to have the process in your head. You need to go in your head and go and test it out. And then we're like, wow, that really worked. Start documenting it, figure it out. And then you're like, okay, let's go and test this out. Oh, yep, that worked. Document it. And then eventually you can start bringing in software, and then you manually did the process. Now you can start bringing in software to work with it. So there's a sequence of events that is important before you just start putting money out. If you do invest your money in anything, I think coaches, because you have to believe in yourself and get your head in the right space, psychiatrists, your business will only be as good as you. I've had businesses that have gone and tried to say, oh, for $300, can I get my full back-end operations done? When you're in these younger phases of business, you need, again, get your boots muddy, really do a lot of the testing, go and experiment with things, see what's working. Once you see what works, document the process out, then you can build software to support that. Then you can start to build teams to take over some of the components. And so you can kind of see the sequence of events that happens. But I think sometimes as entrepreneurs, we want to deflect responsibility onto other people. And so what we do is like, oh, if I go hire an outsourcing company or go hire a team person for this, then I don't have to take responsibility of that. I don't have to go and learn about my financials. I don't have to go and learn about my data. Well, as the owner, there's some things in business that you need to learn about. All of those high-level elements and KPIs and data points, you need to learn to understand. And so it's really important not to deflect that responsibility. So as entrepreneurs, the business, again, is only as good as you. And so put in the effort in those early stages to really learn what your business needs. If you did invest any money in these early stages of business, these are kind of some components that I would have you invest in. So one would be around a business coach to help you believe in yourself, a psychologist. It sounds crazy, but I believe all of us need somebody to help us more deeply understand who we are. There's a lot of crazy psychologists out there, so find the good ones that you can trust to really kind of sift through the way your mind thinks. Get into masterminds with other entrepreneurs that are in the same phase or above you in business, so you can say, okay, here's where they are, how can I get up there? Or people that are going through the same kind of mess you are as well, so you can kind of relate with each other. And then as far as like a team goes, I would say if you had to just pick one hire, pick an executive assistant. An executive assistant is one that's going to tell you how it is, get to know how you write and talk, be able to protect your time, going to be able to troubleshoot, and should be pretty good about working with others, getting things delegated. So if they need to go and work with maybe Upwork or a VA, a lot of times we hire the VA first, but I think if we hire an executive assistant first, then go and get a team and then go get a VA, that's going to all of a sudden free you up more, because they can be in your emails, they can be in your messaging, they can schedule things for you. Like, they're more of that personal piece that's going to free you up, and just having a support person that works really tight with you like that, I think is really important. Okay, so that's my advice on if you did spend money, where to spend it in these early phases. So now let's go into the second big financial mistake that entrepreneurs make. And it is that entrepreneurs don't spend enough money and they're not buying their time to leverage their time and to be able to get their business to run without them. Now, obviously, what I talked about before was for earlier stages of business, but when you start to get into these pre-scale and scale phases of business, or what I call overarching the growth phase of business, this is where it gets really important to start using your profits from the early stages of business. So don't start bleeding out of the company and paying yourself a lot before that. Take the profits from that, invest it in the systems and processes that you have that you can start to build depth and the back end of your system to be able to run and function again without you over time here. And so that is really where you need to start investing that money. I see a lot of people bleed the profits out of their business too soon, start paying themselves too soon. Profit First book came out, and while there's so many great things in the book, I think if you can get away without paying you first, keep your day job for as long as possible. Don't pay yourself yet until you get to a point where you're scaling your company, and then you can take money out. I really think that the Profit First book had a lot of good things in it and good intentions. I actually believe more in don't pay yourself longer, because I think that's one of the bigger things I see is people bleeding money out too soon. Because then you can use that for operations and you don't get so comfortable with really good profits because you did all the work before. Yeah, in the early stages, you started taking the paycheck because you have really good profits because you're doing all the work. But now you don't have any money to go invest in the team to be able to get your business out of that pre-scale phase and into the next level. So you can kind of see the tumble roll of why I'm not super a favor of the Profit First type book. So in the pre-scale phase, you got to invest in infrastructure. I always talk about 3 areas of systems: people, process, and technology. Do the process manually first, figure out what software can help you with that process after that. Then you can even work into automations after that. It's a sequence of events that happens. With people, start small, lean and mean as long as possible. I have an outsourcing company that we have a team sourcing model. The beautiful thing is you can get a full team where you only pay fractional labor for all the different elements of a team. You can literally build pretty cool journeys and systems within our program, and you have the skills that you need without having to go and find the person. Sometimes that's the hardest part, is going and trying to find the help. So if you have us at your fingertips, that's a super great way to be able to scale your company without having to go and do all that's required for a team. It doesn't mean that you shouldn't have some in-house people, but I think you can get away with a really lean and mean, tight core team that focuses on your core product and really enhances you, so they kind of complement what your strengths and weaknesses are and really understand your vision and be able to take it down. Have those people around you, but you literally could outsource if you wanted to, if that's the type of company you wanted. I always talk about, you got to know what your objective is of your company. I hear a lot of businesses that don't even know what their objective is or why they want to do what they do. And so if you want a really simple business model, you think about why network marketing is still so mainstream. It's because it's literally, hey, I could say I have a business, but all the work's done for me. And so with our team sourcing model, it kind of mimics that network marketing feel, where it's hey, create a really simple business model, outsource the rest of it through our team sourcing model, and that is going to keep your business really simple. Now, some people have bigger dreams where they want to literally create their own team and what's involved in that. If you don't like managing people, I don't recommend that that journey, because managing people is hard. Or if you don't like to, make sure you have the capital to invest in people that can manage them for you sooner, because it's a necessary part that you have to learn. For me, I don't like managing people, but I had to learn to do it because I didn't have the money to buy people or pay people out of the gate to do that part for me. And so you have to just know, again, the time and money kind of trade-off, what you're willing to do. Okay, so I kind of got off track there, but main thing is for this phase is really just be willing to buy your time. We get kind of scared to spend our money and our profits on a team. But if your ultimate goal is to get your business to run without you, which is a lot of the people that are watching this channel, then you need to build the systems and the processes to get there. So before we dive into the third big financial mistake that entrepreneurs make, I love creating free content like this. I invest a lot into these videos to do this for you. So I would love it if you would like and subscribe to my channel. Again, getting this content out to more people is dependent on your likes. So if you found something useful, leave a like so that you can secure more free content like this. And I have a lot of free things in the works to continue to deliver you through this channel. Okay, so now let's dive into the third big financial mistake that entrepreneurs make, and that is not paying attention to our numbers. I have a background of accounting, and I hate to admit it, but I didn't pay attention to my numbers soon enough in my business. I didn't really get to love data until the last probably 5 years. In the early days, I had a really clear vision of my company. I was so excited about it and so passionate about it. And I thought, oh, if you build it, they will come. And 15 years ago, it was kind of that mentality of, if I have a big office and lots of employees, I can show success, right? And so it was more of like the show of that, where now it's like cool to work from anywhere and work whenever. And like, that's what success is now, which I love. But before, it was like this game you felt like you had to play, and which wasn't right. But it made me kind of naive to, hey, let's just get down to brass tacks and see what the data is. Now, I'm a big proponent of connecting our heart and our mind together. Use your mind to look at the data, and use your heart to look at, what's your vision, your purpose, your values, all those things, and combine the two together to be able to make decisions. But at the end of the day, you have to look at your data. The numbers, most of the time, don't lie. It doesn't mean that the numbers are all exactly what you need to make a decision on, but they don't lie on what the situation is now. That doesn't necessarily predict what you should make in the future for a decision, but it does predict what's happening now. There's a trend now to have software that does a lot of it in one place, which is kind of cool because it's so much easier to get data. 2 years ago, we were in so many disjointed systems, and I went all in with Salesforce. We bought all of our systems integrated with that. But it's been so cool to be able to just get good data finally, and timely data. That's so hard sometimes, is to get the data in the way you want it fast enough. And so if you start it early on, start with spreadsheets. Start with a manual paper of ticking things. If you have to do a manual ticking process to find data on how many sales closed, whatever it is, just start learning to track data early, and then learn how to interpret the data, and then how to make decisions off that data. And so the sooner you can start those healthy habits in your business, the more likely of success, and the faster you will get to success as well. And if you start practicing early, when you start scaling your company, the risk is going to be higher when you're bigger. And so you'll need to know how to make decisions on data quicker when you're bigger, because there's more people at risk. You got bigger customer base, you got more employees, you might have more invested in software or contracts. There's just a lot of moving parts when you're bigger. And so as you're growing, that's when you need to start maybe diversifying into more products, more growth channels, all of these different things. And so all that, the data is going to be critical, so you can track the trend lines and get to it before it's too late and maybe your business is crumbling. So if you want to learn more about what you need to do when in your business so you can avoid these financial mistakes, I'm actually putting on a free 5-day VIP event. We'll talk more about these phases of business, what's required, how to really mastermind your time around that and really leverage it to be able to get your business sustainable and growing without you. You can go to mastermindmytime.com. I'll put the description in the comments. Again, it's a great resource. It's just a small amount of your time each day. You can fit it into your regular schedule, and it'll be pre-recorded. So there's really no risk to you. Lots of free gifts that we're going to be giving away to everybody. It's not just a drawing type gift. It's literally gifts for everybody. You can go to, again, mastermindmytime.com.